Hi, Kat Chancellor here with Stamp Art Connection and StampArtConnection.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I have a really neat project for you featuring some of the new products that are here in the mini catalog. It's called an exploding box card, and I'm going to show you the concept right here. This is what we're going to create. You open 1, 2, 3, and you get these wonderful layers that you can embellish, and I've seen these embellished with either like a card, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate for you, but you could also turn this into something like a photo album if you put on some cardstock that you could adhere some photos, or if you have some photos yourself that you want to give. But this is the concept. It's basically nesting designer series paper that you can to create this really cool box. Now that's the concept. This was kind of like my concept mock-up. Let me show you what I did, and what I'm going to demonstrate for you is this box here. And I have a ribbon tied, and we're going to open it up, and there it is. We're going to have this wonderful box with this paper that's featured in the mini catalog that you can embellish. I've embellished it with some of the punched out die cuts and some of the DSP. Again, I've embellished it using some of the two-step stamping from the Country Bouquet bundle. And this one, I used the Share a Milkshake set, and inside is a little box that you can make using 6x6 cardstock, which is perfect for the DSP that comes with the Country Bouquet bundle, and then you can put a little gift inside, or if you don't want to do that, you can go ahead and put a sentiment inside to really turn it into a neat Valentine's card, and that in this case that's our theme is Valentine's Day. Or you can go ahead and do that and put the little gift box, put a little treat or something inside, and then we just simply close it up. And I just really love these sets. I want to show you how I put those together and using that sentiment. Let me show you the products that I've used, and let me go ahead and just close this up so you can just see how nicely it all kind of comes together. I'm using a ribbon, but you could also use a belly band around the box if you want to go ahead and secure it, but it's kind of a nice surprise if it's kind of plain on the outside, and then on the inside it kind of explodes with all that color. So here are the products that I'm using. They're in the mini catalog. I'm using the Country Floral Lane bundle. I love the paper. It's really got some really beautiful. This is what I used for the inside, and I'm kind of I'm also kind of making my paper stretch a little bit, because the colors that come from the Dandy Designs, which is a celebration item, they've got some wonderful, very nice designs here that you can also use. So I use that paper as well, and of course the 6x6. It's kind of a gingham, country gingham cardstock. Really has some wonderful patterns that you can use. And these are the colors that we're basically featuring in this are Sweet Sorbet, Mossy Metal, Mint Macaron, and Blushing Bride colors, which all coordinate with this bundle. And that also goes into, if you go on to the next page, here is our Share a Milkshake bundle using all those colors and shapes, and here they are right here. I also am using dies such as I have I use my square die to kind of offer a little bit of a for that placard there for the inside. and the punch that comes with it right here. And I'll show you, and oh, here's my punch uh, for the different shapes for the inside of the card. So you are going to need the DSP. I'm using some Sweet Sorbet cardstock for my lids. The Country Bouquet DSP for the inside. I've got some basic white cardstock, and here you can see I've also cut out the hearts not only in the stamping and punch with Sweet Sorbet, but I also use the gingham shapes there. I use some label punches for cutting out the sentiment here, and I also used all the neat, I used some neat embellishments. Now this does come with some embellishments, but I kind of supplemented. I believe these are the embellishments that come with the bundle, but I supplemented it with these really neat iridescent rhinestones. These kind of projects I love because this is a great opportunity to use all your products that you may have in your craft room from either this catalog or from past retired items. Again, here's that DSP that's part of the Dandy Designs, and it also includes the lid. I use, again, the Dandy Designs. I'm kind of pulling in the colors of the Mossy Meadow. I use the Cane Weave 3D embossing folder. Now this is featured as part of that bundle as well. I believe it is, or actually, you know what it's featured with? It's featured with another bundle. I'm going to show you that in a minute. But this is a really neat, any of your 3D embossing folders, but I really like the 3D embossing folder for the kind of like the background for our hearts using the two-step embossing, or two-step stamping. And this is a die that comes from the, I'm going to show you that set here in a minute. And then, of course, oh my gosh, I just love this set here, the Share a Milkshake. I mean, you can just do some really neat things. I had some nice glimmer paper. Everything is cut out of glimmer paper, and it's just basically a two-step stamping and then cutting out the little milkshake, the sundae, and then the waffle cone ice cream. Just really cute. And then on the inside is our cute little box. Okay, so that is the project that we're going to use. Now I want to put these aside because I want to show you another example, but we've used a different set here in our catalog, and let me see if I can find it. And here, oh yes, the Regency Park. So I took the Regency Park. Here's that really nice 3D cane embossing folder, and this wonderful paper. But because this is 6x6, I really needed the large paper, and that is where this Dandy Designs paper came in. So here is the project. I'm using the colors from the DSP that I'm trying to coordinate, but you can see how nice that kind of coordinates together. I have this little flower here because that's going to show me what the front of my box card is going to look like. And I just took some ribbon, and this is using some of the products from the annual catalog. You may remember this is one of my favorite sets, and this is the Summer Shadows dies. This is available in the annual catalog, and these dies here are part of the Sentimental Park dies. It has this wonderful all these little intricate dies, but they're really they may seem overwhelming, but they're not. This is the wonderful die that kind of cuts out this, and then with all these little pieces of little flower pieces here, if you just patiently cut all of them out. And what I did is when I cut them out, I kind of have a little bag of all these little pieces and parts, and then I just kind of embellished that label right there with the little pieces, and I'm picking colors that coordinate with my DSP. And here's my cane, I believe that's a cane weave 3D embossing folder, and I'm using Highland Heather and I think soft freesia. This is a paper that is from the 6x6 designer series paper. Again, just kind of coordinating the colors. And this is the daisy punch. You may remember this punch. There is a punch that's in the annual catalog. This is a wonderful punch to have on in your crafting room. I just put these together. I used some vellum here and then just some Mango Melody cardstock, and I had some of these left over. These were just like little centers that came with the daisy punch several catalogs ago, but you know, I buy these and then I stash them for when I use them. Evening evergreen or shaded spruce here to kind of coordinate again with this DSP that comes with the Regency Park set, and then just a nice little sentiment there. I also just used a circle punch to kind of give me the center for my my vellum daisy. And then on the inside, oh, this is really pretty, and when I showed this to my husband, he really loved the colors. But these designs here are from the stamp set and I believe there's two. So you get two stamp sets with the Petal Park and the Sentimental Park, and I used this stamp set here and these stamps, and I primarily focused on the colors that were in my DSP, which were the Mango Melody and some Balmy Blue, and I stamped it using Soft Succulent and Shaded Spruce for my lines. And you can see that it has a die, or rather a punch that comes with it. So I punched out the flowers and some of the leaves, and then after I stamped this right here, I fussy cut that to put on this Balmy Blue paper that comes with that Dandy Design set. You can see how pretty that is. And then I just kind of layered, and I think I'm going to add some sparkles, some embellishments to this. But this version of the card has the little box. Is again, it coordinates. The box coordinates with the paper, but this box is adhered so that you could put something inside. So this is an example of how you can adhere the box to the inside of your exploding. And just an opportunity, you know, I have it facing towards me because I wanted it to be more like a card where you can have some sentiments in here. But again, you could face it any way that you want as far as orientating your different elements in the design. And also, again, you can put placards here to add pictures if you want. You can have pictures on the outside. It's just a really wonderful, I believe, just a wonderful project that's really not hard to make. And you can use all your products from both the annual catalog and the celebrations paper, as well as the suites that are offered in the new mini catalog to kind of create these. Oh, just a really neat project. Okay, so having said that, let me kind of go through this project and show you how I put together this project here using for Valentine's Day. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need is you're going to need 3 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock, and I'm just kind of showing you the different patterns that I chose here because we're now going to cut them down. Now the first piece by 12 by 12, just leave that alone because we're going to score that. But the second piece, you want to cut 11 by 1/4 square using your cutting board or your stamping trimmer. So that's 11 by 1/4 square. The third piece, which is your innermost piece, is going to be cut at 10.5 square. And then you're going to need various pieces for the lid. Now the lid is going to be 6 1/8 square. So here I'm just cutting my sweet sorbet, and I can now use the 6 by 6 cardstock for the rest of the lids. I'm just kind of matching up my different patterns. The second or the middle layer lid is going to be 5 7/8 square. And the last piece, and I'm going to mark this, and I recommend you mark it just because there's so many little pieces and parts you don't want to lose track. The last piece is going to be 5 5/8 square. And I'm just counting across. Again, I'm just going to kind of mark that as number 3 because that's my last piece, number 2, and then the sweet sorbet solid cardstock is going to be my top piece. Now you're going to get your scoreboard, and we're going to begin with the scoring. I'm going to take my lid, and I'm going to score my lid 1 inch all the way around. My first piece of my 12 by 12 is going to be 4 inches all the way around, and that's going to be our first piece. The next lid is, again, you're just going to score 1 inch all the way around. I'm trying to keep this in order. This is our middle piece right here, number 2, and that one is scored at 3 3/4 all the way around. And then this is where it's really nice to have that marked because then you know which goes with which. And this again is 1 inch for this lid. This is our middle lid, and that goes 1 inch all the way around. This is our innermost piece, and this is going to be scored 3 1/2 all the way around. And I've already scored that the last lid. Now the best way I found to cut it, and if you have really long scissors, this is probably where you would want to use long shears. I don't have long shears, but I simply just lined up my my cardstock, my DSP on and this is the innermost piece. So I'm lining this up at 3 1/2, and I'm just going to score down, and then I'm going to turn it and use my scoring blade and score down 3 1/2, score up, and you can see the score lines, but as you work around you'll also kind of see where some of your cuts are, and that's going to create your first part of your first layer of your box card. For the middle layer, we're going to cut this at 3 3/4. Again, I'm just kind of working down using not only the numbers on my measurements on my stamping trimmer, but I'm also using my score lines. I can see my score lines. And we just go ahead and work our way around, making sure that all our pieces are cut. Now you can see with the way I cut just one of the edges of the, or one of the sides, just one of the score lines on my lid, and then I beveled it, just taking just a little wedge off of it, and I placed the tear tape closest to the score line, to the fold, because that's going to give you a nice tight corner when you're assembling your lids. So you can see here's a really good example. You can see how I kind of beveled the edges there on each of the flaps. I've taken off a little wedge, and then my tear tape is right against that fold. So you get a nice, clean, crisp corner, and it is very easy to assemble. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and begin to assemble our card. We're going to begin with your first layer, and you're going to take the second layer, and you're basically just going to use your you can do this, by eye. You're just going to center it as best you can. So I'm using some glue, and I'm using my special 4-in-1 glue because it gives me a little bit of time to kind of make sure that everything is even all the way around, and it also provides a nice hard base when it dries. It dries really hard and it's not tacky. You can see how I have to kind of slide that down, and I just kind of want to wiggle it and make sure that each one of my edges are uniform all the way around. Now, before in advance, I went ahead and I stamped and die cut all the pieces and parts that I'm going to need for this project, because I want to show you the assembly more than working with those particular stamp sets and bundles. But I will have some cards and some videos that will kind of give you some tips and tricks on that. But it's very straightforward. And what I was doing here is I'm trying to put together my kind of how I want to arrange. I have several sentiments that I kind of want to add to this. This is going to be like a Valentine's card. I went into my stash, and here are these vellum doilies, which are very pretty, and they are available in the annual catalog. I just wanted I love that we are friends, thinking of you. I added a couple of little flower cutouts that are part of the stamp set that is available under the Country Bouquet. It's and I just use some die punches for the different type of label shapes that I have. I'm trying to come up with an arrangement, and this is kind of an interesting project because you have a lot of opportunities to do different things, and I just kind of want to talk about this for a minute. If you were doing this as a workshop, because a lot of my subscribers are Stampin' Up! Demonstrators who would look for ideas, and they do come to me for ideas. All of this will be available on a PDF that you can purchase, and I do ask for your support when if you are looking at this project. My PDF is available for download, and there will be a link. But I'm kind of looking at the how to apply these elements. These are the stamped and punched elements that come with the Country Bouquet. But it looks really kind of plain because I already have a floral background, and then I have the stamped image. Well, what I did is I went and I used the gingham paper that is part of this bundle. And this is the beauty of Stampin' Up! Is that there's so many ways to coordinate the different products, that every time you kind of get a perfect project when you kind of take the coordination, and that's what I love about Stampin' Up! So I'm taking the gingham, so you kind of have you have plaid, you have floral, you have line art, just a stamped image, and I'm just going to layer them on top of each other. I'm going to use stamping or dimensionals for my hearts but I'm going to use the gingham heart as kind of a background to kind of offer a little bit of contrast with the gingham paper, the floral heart, and then our stamped heart. And I'm just kind of layering these pieces. There's the smaller hearts, and this is all using the punch that comes with this set. So it's really easy to put together. I'm just kind of putting those there. I do like the green leaves simply because it just adds that extra bit of pop and picks up the green color from the background from the DSP heart paper. So there you go. Now when you open this up, I'm now going to use that same pattern, that heart pattern that you can stamp with the two-step stamping with the Country Bouquet. And for this I use the Mossy Meadow and the Sweet Sorbet. I stamp the hearts and then I cut them out. Now I'm trying to kind of figure out how I want to mount the hearts on this background. And this pattern paper, I mean it's a pattern, but again the ability to kind of to use the pattern with the florals is really great about how Stampin' Up! has the colors that are the colors and products that are coordinated. But instead of using the doily, which is what I have put there, I went and cut using my square. I believe they were the layering squares, and this is a retired product, but you should have this in your or something similar to it in your stamp room. I went ahead and I cut that using basic white cardstock, and then I embossed using that really pretty, believe it's the cane weave 3D embossing folder, and then I popped those up on some dimensionals, and it really sets off the hearts, and it's a really nice frame for the green. So the green really acts as a nice background. And that, you know, it goes with your first piece of cardstock, which is the that flowered piece that I used as your first 12 by 12 piece. So this is and this is the Dandy Designs paper. So here is, take advantage of the paper. It's free with a purchase now with celebrations, but it's a great way to make your project stretch because all the colors are coordinating. And there I just kind of use the doily for my sentiment, and that framelit that I used to cut that out comes from the Petal Park series or bundle that is in the new mini catalog, and that goes on really pretty. And you see I've oriented everything so that it opens up more like a card, but you can orient it any way you want. So that is that layer. Now I'm just going to open it up, and this is where the fun begins. I really loved putting together all the pieces and parts to the Share a Milkshake, and there is a die in there that is kind of it kind of evokes the texture of the waffle cone, and I'm being true with my theme of using the vellum doily as a kind of as a background for my sentiment labels that I've stamped and die cut there. So it's so the project flows very well. And then I use these this waffle cone texture. I cut those using basic white cardstock, but I used my all-purpose, multi-purpose adhesive backing, so that all I had to do was to pull it off, and then I can just adhere it directly onto my my project. You can see it right there, and it just makes for an easy project, and I would really recommend it. I really like that. I've seen it used. You can see it in the catalog used a lot of ways on a lot of other projects, not just this particular suite. Now that one, the adhesive didn't exactly go to the end on that, so I shorted it a little bit, and I'm going to have to use some glue to kind of tack that down. But I was able to kind of get the rest of them, and they're a little sticky to get apart, so that's what I'm doing off camera right now, is I'm trying to get all the little squares punched out of the of this wonderful little waffle design, and there you go. Now the Share a Milkshake has several cutouts that you can make. You can make a sundae, a milkshake, and then a waffle cone. And I'm trying to get that to adhere down. So I'm playing around with how I want these shapes to go, and it's really pretty because this is your center of your card, so everything is kind of different. Now, all the different ice cream shapes I cut out using the different glitter paper that I had, and since the glitter paper I had was kind of a greenish, it kind of goes with the mint macaron theme of the country lane paper. And I'm just using some glue, just kind of tacking it on. The spoons are also a die, and I cut those out using gold foil. And then you just kind of slip the little ice cream shape into your waffle cone, and I'm going to layer with some of the other colors to kind of make the ice creams look like there's several scoops. And I'm just going to slip that in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm alternating colors. I've got kind of a green color, and then I have kind of a light, kind of a mint color, and I don't know what the other color is, but it's I think it contrasts really nice. I'll have all of the information on my PDF, and I'm just kind of adding. So every one of these has a little bit of has ice cream, plus it's a little bit nicely layered. There, I finally used my multi-purpose glue to get that down. I'm just using a wipe to clean up any of the extra glue that may have leaked out. So now I'm just kind of looking for how I want to arrange them. I love the sentiments in this. It's perfect for all kinds of birthday cards, and I'm really enjoying this, and I can't wait to make some other projects. The cherries are using again glitter paper. I think this is sweet sorbet, and everything is basically die cut. The only thing I stamped was the glass bottom, and I'm just kind of adding that. I'm going to pop up all my good sweetness here, my milkshakes, my sundae, and my waffle cone. Now, my waffle cone was made using very vanilla cardstock, and then I took a sponge dauber and I kind of daubed around the end using the Blushing Bride, because the background color of this DSP is petal pink. So that goes, it all really kind of coordinates really well. And just pop them all up on a dimensional, and it just kind of, it's just really a nice combination of shapes, sentiments, and ideas. Now, this set is not only something that you could use for birthday, but it also comes with a Be My Valentine sentiment. So this is also a good option for Valentine's Day, which is why I'm combining it with the Country Bouquet suite that's in the mini catalog. These are cute little hearts that there's a die that stamps those out. I just stamped them out with some Sweet Sorbet designer series, or rather some cardstock, and it just kind of offers, again, it just really goes well with this petal pink paper and the the whole theme here of Valentine's. Now, the inside box that's not featured here is a treat box that you can make very easily, and it'll be on my DS on my my PDF with just 6x6 paper, and you just score 2 inches all the way around to create the box. And you can put that in the middle. The lid for that is 3 1/8 by 3 1/8, and you score that a 1/2 inch. So now that I'm going to kind of close up the box, you can decorate the outside. Here I'm going to use the ribbon that coordinates with the country plain set. It's a beautiful crumb cake ribbon that you can tie the box. You could also use a belly band. You can add one embellishment and just tie that nicely. Makes a nice little surprise. Again, I'll have all the links for what you'll need for the ribbon on my PDF. And there you go. That could also act as a little label or a tag. So opening it up, it pops out nicely. Looks like it's a great card, and boom, you can put a sentiment in the middle, or you can go ahead and make that 6x6 treat box. Here's another example of one that I put together using some of the other products from the annual catalog, and the I believe it's the Pedal Park. There's a little box that I show at the beginning of the video. This is Kat Chancellor with Stamp Art Connection and StampArtConnection.com. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like and share, and go to my blog and download my PDF. Happy stamping!